We're still full-time RVing and always out exploring.
In this video, we're going to answer some more viewer questions.
We've been asked at least a few times with regard to RVing, what do we do best and what do we think we could do better?
As far as what we do best, I think we have a pretty good routine as far as packing up and unpacking. We definitely have a regimen that we kind of go through, and we know who's responsible to do what, and not that we don't double check, but we have certain areas that we've got down to a point that it's just kind of a science for us, and we seem to do pretty good at getting everything set up and taken down. Yeah,
there's a lot of redundancy built in, and it's just become second nature. We just do it all the time, so we just know what to do. And like we often say, we allow each other to say, hey, did you do this, or remember to do that? And we don't take that personally. We just take it as a good, safe reminder. So we do that pretty good. And with regard to what we could do better, I think we could probably do better with regard to our clutter and organization. And this comes about more, I guess, because we stay more longer in locations, and the longer we stay, the more that things get taken out and left laying around, probably.
So definitely just continuing to downsize and organize is a constant struggle.
It's just we are living full lives, so a lot of times we're just not taking care of everything to put it all away, because we know we just have to get it right back out, and so that kind of thing. I mean, we're not filthy or anything. It's just a matter of clutter. It's like having a stack of papers on your desk or something like that, but mine just ends up being gear laying around and that kind of thing. So
lots of gear.
We could definitely do better with that, and it's an ongoing thing for us.
The next question is, do we leave our gray tank open or closed?
Well, I guess that kind of depends. If we're on the go quite a bit, like picking up and leaving every day or so, we're going to have it obviously closed all those times. Or if we're boondocking, of course, it's closed, or dry camping, that sort of thing. But the longer we stay, the more likely we are to have it open, like in an RV park, a campground, that type of situation. It's not all the time, but quite often we'll have it open, and there's reasons for that. One of the reasons probably because we just don't want to go out there every day and a half, 2 days or whatever, and open it from all the shower water and everything like that. So we definitely keep it open. Now, a valve's got to be either in the open or closed position. So I think anytime you leave a valve open or closed for a long period of time, you can start to get some buildup. So it's good to use those valves quite often. And if you're on the go, then you're most likely using them a lot. Now, what we do, well, let me say, one of the reasons why people probably don't like to keep those gray tank valves open is because they're concerned with fumes coming back up through the sewer, and that's a good concern. And we're concerned with that even if our valves are closed. What we do to help with that is put drain stops, like the rubber flap type thing we'll put in the shower. We put stops in the sinks, and we also try to never have our gray tank open if we're using our exhaust fans, the roof vents.
It just sucks it right
out of the tank. And another thing that we do is we'll make a P-trap in the sewer hose, so that can help with that. So water will sit in there and create some kind of a natural barrier from the fumes coming back up. So we'll do that. I think that's probably the main reason why we leave them open more often when we're stationary, is just to let that water continually flow through. And we will close them periodically.
When it's coming up on time that we're going to need to empty the black tank, we'll close the gray tank so that some water will be in there, so that once the black tank has been opened, that there's some gray water behind it to kind of flush that system out a little bit. So
yeah, it helps. It's not all we do, but it's definitely something that we'll do. And, you know, obviously, as most of us understand, we don't ever leave the black tank open. That just doesn't make sense at all because your solids stay in the tank and your liquids pass through. Not a good thing to do. So the black tank's always closed until we're emptying it. But, yep, that's it. A semi-frequent question that we get is, what type of tires do we have on our truck? Well, ever since we purchased the truck brand new, we've been using the tires that came with it. Not the same set, unfortunately, and probably fortunately, is the Firestone Transforce tires, and we're on our third set of those, and we're well in over 100,000 miles. So I think we're getting about 40-something thousand miles per, at least that, you know. And they've done real well, and I guess they were rated high. And the place that we get our tires has to order those, and they have all kinds of other tires that they could be selling us, and yet they hear good things about these and have had really good fortune with those with their customers. So we've just stayed with them. They've done quite well. Yeah,
we're really happy with them. We are very meticulous about regularly rotating the tires regularly, and then also monitoring the tire pressure, especially if we're going to be, you know, pulling the RV every time. We make sure that the tire pressure is where it needs to be. So
yeah, and we have the TPMS system that's letting us know, and we monitor that. But yeah, we keep them rotated right like clockwork, and even when it's not time, so to speak, we just know if we're getting ready to do a big leg and it's been a while, we just kind of make sure that we get that done, and then keep them inflated properly and stuff like that. And just, we're always looking at them. I look at them when we pull over in a rest area. So just always taking good care with them. It's very important.
Having a blowout is not a good thing anytime, but especially if you're towing an RV, it's doubly not a good thing. So taking care of the tires is a big priority.
Yes.
The next question is, what would we be doing if we weren't RVing or living full-time in an RV, I guess?
Well, for us, RVing is basically just transportation and shelter. So it's not unlike, you know, if we had a house and a car, or apartment and a car, or whatever, a cave and a car, cave and a camel, or something like that. It's just basically transportation and shelter. We'd probably still be looking for scenery and wildlife and things like that, but we'd probably be less effective at it and not as widespread if we weren't RVing. So.
Yeah, it definitely helps to be able to get out and see more places and go more places than we ever did living in a stationary house. So.
Yeah, so we enjoy it still. A question that really got us thinking and talking about is, which place would we most like to revisit that we've been to since we've been living and traveling full-time in an RV?
Yeah, and after some discussion, we agreed on the place, and that is Yellowstone.
Yeah. We love that place.
There's just so much in Yellowstone, and every time there's different opportunities for different wildlife sightings. There's places there that we didn't get to see, but the places that we did, we just loved.
Yeah, and every time that you go back, it's a different adventure, even if you go to the same places, because the wildlife changes, the weather changes, the lighting, all kinds of things. It's just, I think it pretty much sums up what we like to do. We like scenery, the wilderness. We love wildlife in the wild, and we also like quaint little towns and things like that. And there was that little town of West Yellowstone. We enjoyed walking around there, and there was a lot to see and do, and we could definitely take another trip back there, and I'm sure we will, or at least that's a good
and we were
plan
there
of ours.
in the fall the first time, so I think maybe in the spring would be nice. Get different perspective of the scenery and maybe some baby wildlife.
We'd absolutely love to return to Yellowstone. Well, those were answers to some of the questions that we've been getting. If you have any questions for us, please feel free to put them in the comments. We'd also love to hear what you think about any of the things that we shared in this video.
And please remember to share, subscribe, and click on that little notification bell.
Thanks for watching. we're out walking along the river and we came across this cairn field, and there's a message in it. We thought it'd be a good thing to leave you with. Every day may not be good, but there's something good in every day.